Yo, welcome back to another episode of PvT. I am your host, Moo, and I'm back with a new group. I'm going to have my co-host, Will, go ahead and introduce your guest, and I'll go ahead and introduce my guest. Go ahead, kick us off, Will.
How's everybody doing tonight? Welcome to PvT, Player versus Team. Good to have everybody here. And we got my girl from the Integrity Sports Network, my girl, Key. Key, what's going on?
What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing tonight?
How you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. Lovely to have you. Lovely to have you. All right, now we got my special guest. He's one of my close friends. He's actually his daughters are actually my godchildren. So shout out to my boy right here, Tyrone. Welcome to the show. How we doing, my boy?
What's good? What's good? All's good in the neighborhood.
Absolutely, absolutely. So today, as you guys see from the title, that we're going to be talking about March Madness. I do got the games going on right now. I got Iowa State, Illinois, and I got North Carolina, Alabama. And tomorrow I will definitely be tuned into the Women's Madness that will be going on all day on Friday. So without further ado, let's go ahead and kick this off. So I'm going to go ahead and just open up the panel and just ask a general question. How are we feeling about March Madness this year? Will, I'm going to start with you.
It's been good. It's been good. Very entertaining. And some things I didn't expect to happen. I didn't see Clemson winning, but they got the W tonight. So I'm liking everything that I'm seeing right now. It's living up to its billing to me.
I like it. I like it. Key, what you thinking?
Very, very entertaining. As you know, March Madness is just like the adrenaline rush that you need throughout the month. Close games coming down to the wire, you think they're blowouts, and then that team comes back and it's a whole new ball game. I didn't see 2 overtimes so far on the men's side. It's been pretty exciting. Some upsets, some dominations that we're used to seeing, knowing from a team. That's going to go automatically smash the team. So, but the underdogs, it's always one Cinderella story each year somewhere in the March Madness. So I'm liking it. I'm liking it so far.
I like that. Tyrone, what you thinking, man?
See, I was on the opposite end of that. There's no Cinderella team for me. There's no, small team that's just eating up everybody right now. It's the teams that were supposed to be at the top fell off early in the season, got it back at the end. The Gonzagas, the big name schools that were used to competing all the time for the championship, they were 4, 5, 6 seeds. So that kind of threw a lot of people's brackets off. We did have a little bit of fun with Oakland, but I'm a sucker for an underdog, and we really don't have that on the men's side this year.
Okay. I like that. So let's go ahead and expand off that, right? I'm gonna go ahead and ask you this question. Do you think that due to the lack of underdogs, or even due to, because you can even look at the NIT and schools choosing not to play in it, but do you think that the lack of underdog presence, or just schools lack of competitive nature from these smaller name schools, do you think that's missing in the March Madness this year, or do you think that it's something that we need, all these top schools going head to head and competing, because that's what's supposed to be here?
It's iffy for me. It's yes and no. So yes, I do want to see, everybody wants to see the best go up against the best and compete and see who's truly the top of the top. But in college, it's a different game. In the NBA, you get that with the playoff setting. In college, it's a one or done. It's a little bit different. I think it has a lot to do with the level of competition and the NIL deals now.
Okay.
So the schools that have money to pay, or the schools that have been stacking and saving money because they knew this was coming, because this wasn't something out of the blue. Colleges knew this was coming 3-5 years down before it even happened. So that the money, like, you can pretty much buy players now. So the level of competition, you're not getting the huge name going to that small school anymore if they don't have the money. So it's, I think the level of competition and then also the one and done, you know, throw that in there. There's no, before it was, oh, a kid is staying at least 2 to 3 years. So you
Yeah,
get some sort of a system set up, some kind of familiarity, it's but right now it's everything's a toss up right now on the men's side.
Let me ask
I
y'all
can.
a question real quick. Do y'all think, and Key, I'm gonna toss this over to you, particularly on the women's side, not so much the men's side, but the women's side. Do you think NIL can mess up the path of the WNBA with this lady staying in school longer?
Definitely think it is. Just my opinion. I think Angel Reese is eligible for the WNBA draft this year.
Mhm.
She makes more in NIL than the WNBA player does at this current moment. So it's like, why risk? Why? And she's going to risk that if she wants to go into WNBA side. Same thing with Caitlyn Clark.
Hmm.
Um, uh, Ice Cube offered her a
I
spot in
saw
the Big
that.
Three.
Yeah.
So it's just like the NIL is a big deal. Flau'jae Johnson, she's another one, but at the same time, she's a rapper as well. She's a rapper before she got to LSU, so
Mhm.
she has money already. So
Yeah.
I mean, it all depends on, do you want to take your game to the next level or do you want to stay in college? I feel like this, like Rome kind of said it. I feel like this NIL is having people stay longer. You didn't before, you used to do your 4 years at 21, you was done. And now you
Oh.
got people staying 22, 23, 25. Why are you still in college?
Yep.
You should be in the pros by now. So
Yep.
That's why. That's a
NIL
great.
Can I
does.
chime? Wait. Can I chime in on this side though? Can I chime in?
Yeah.
Because so the female side is completely different. I love the NIL for them because they don't get paid in the WNBA. So make your money, sis, while you can. Get every single dollar out of them colleges that you're putting in. Because
Every
the
bit of it.
Caitlyn Clarks, the Angel Reese's, the what's my Islander sis out there in the
It's a
Pac-12
thing.
out there was yep, dominating. Like there's these women that will have the ability to make $2-3 million a year in college and go to the WNBA and make maybe 250,000, 300,000.
Yep.
Well,
And if even if they're a top player, 2-3.
let's expand on that. Let's expand on that. Do you think that with the NIL deals on the women's side is going to pressure the WNBA to start paying these women more, or do you think that these girls are just
Yes.
going to step in and be like, "Hey, if y'all not going to pay me, I'm just going, I'm going to check back in college and collect off my brand checks," or do you think it's going to be more like, "All right, well, we want you to come here, so we're willing to match that NIL deal, we're willing to match this NIL, we're willing to match this, we're willing to match that." So like, do you guys think that there's going to be a change coming in the WNBA with these women that are getting a lot more money in college with these NIL deals and these NIL brands?
My only issue is this. If you look at the WNBA financially, how?
Exactly.
Because you're
You can't.
True.
talking about mass interests into the WNBA, not just one or two ladies. You're talking about several ladies coming in. So how can they, with their financial situation right now, how can they match that and still be a healthy financial league that's still in the running?
That's a good point.
They still right now they're still in the red, but
Mm-hmm.
I believe in the next upcoming years, the popularity of the women's basketball period will get them out of the red. But as right now, they can't match NIL deal
Mm-mm.
as of right now anywhere. Don't matter who it
Mm-mm.
is, they can't match that. So I
Like
mean,
that point.
get your money while you can before you go. If you want to go to the next level, I mean, stack up. But I'm sure you still get some endorsements with Nike, or you just somebody's still going to endorse you.
Yeah.
But don't go overseas because that's where a lot of these women go overseas to do. So
It's a good point.
Okay.
stay in the states.
So my opinion on it is so the younger players like the Jujus, the ones that are just coming in, the big hype, like in my mind, she's the biggest star in college. Caitlin Clark is doing her thing,
Oh yeah.
but nobody can touch Juju on a talent, on a markability level, I could put her in any market and she's gonna do fine. So They're gonna push the WNBA to what, like I've said for a long time, cut back on the amount of teams because they have a bunch of teams in small markets where college basketball reigns or NFL reigns or it's NBA. You don't want to compete in those markets. Go to a Vegas, go to a LA, go to Sacramento. The Sacramento
Yeah.
Monarchs were one of the most dominant WNBA franchises, and where are they at?
They're
That's
nowhere
true.
to be found. They gone.
That's true.
So the way I agree with you right now as it stands, they don't have enough money. But with these players that are coming in and they're changing the view of women's game because now they're getting the slick handle. Now they're getting that layup package. Now they're getting that Kobe turnaround with Juju. They're getting the fundamental and skill level of a men's game without the dunking. And that's going to force revenue into them. That's going to force media markets. Oh, I want to play the ESPNs, the ABCs, all these different top tier television providers to, oh, I'm going to give them a contract.
Yes.
So that's going to
That's
add
true.
more money into the WNBA because as it is right now, it's either they're staying in college or they're going to go overseas because
Mhm.
overseas they make more than the WNBA.
Yep. But Angel Reese, Caitlyn Clark, once they get over there and start showing their wares over in the WNBA, and like you said, I think others will follow their footsteps. Others will follow their footsteps, and the WNBA can get up there. And once
Yeah.
the WNBA gets up there, I think more women will become attracted to the sport and start supporting it. Because that's always been my issue is the fact that women don't support the WNBA. But when women start supporting the WNBA like Key does, then it's going to be a win-win, a huge win-win. And they can start, instead of being in the red like they are now, they can start being more profitable.
Well
I
then,
was a WNBA fan since the beginning it started. Lisa Leslie is the reason why I'm a Sparks fan.
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord.
Lisa
absolutely,
Leslie is the reason why I'm a Sparks
absolutely.
fan. And I already know we're going to be in a rebuilding phase this year. But I watch all of the WNBA. That's just not the Sparks. But Lisa Leslie is the reason why I'm a Sparks fan. It's the only LA team I like.
They should have kept Tia Cooper, but I'm just saying.
Just
Can
saying.
I throw a name out there that got me started in watching WNBA? Tisha
Absolutely.
Pinachero.
Yes,
Ooh.
Pinatero. Yep.
Oh, I
Legend.
saw her live, went to her camp, and man, I saw them passes live, and I was like, oh, snap. She passed better than half the men.
Mm-hmm.
Tia Cooper got me watching it a little bit more than what I used to watch it. Because I love her game. I loved her in college. And I just followed over to the WNBA and say, man, this girl can go. She can go.
And I have to also say, Kara Lewis.
Yeah.
You got Teresa Witherspoon, who's now the coach of the Chicago Sky. Great pickup and addition for them. Your Rebecca Lobos, your Becky Hammonds, who's the coach of the Aces.
Absolutely.
So I mean, Dawn Staley was a part of the WNBA. She
Mhm.
was with the Charlotte Sting before they folded. Now she's in South Carolina, but I believe in the next couple of years, like this, the women's side is going to be bigger than what it is now. Last year just was the cap of it. Now this year it's going to skyrocket.
Oh yeah.
Let's talk about the young ones, right? We got young ballers, right? On the women's side, like Malaysia Fu Wiley, you got Hannah Hidalgo, you got Juju, as we mentioned, right? Like those names, those talents compared to you got on the other side, to where Bronny's on the other side going to the same school as Juju. At the same time, you got DJ Rodman, another NBA son, right? A lot of these NBA sons are starting to come up and starting to go to these schools. So do you think that the name of the NBA sons are going to outweigh the talent of these young ladies that we're seeing? Or we think that we're just going to kind of get these guys with these names that aren't really too good at basketball, or I'm not going to say too good at basketball, but aren't really too good at these type of settings in basketball, where you look at the ladies on the other side and they're good individually, they're good team-wise, they show leadership, they show skill. Like, do you think the name is going to outweigh the skill again, like it was before, or do you think the skill coming up with these ladies is going to outweigh the names? Tyrone, let me start with you.
No, that's a simple, flat out answer. No, and I'm arguing. I love men's college basketball. I love, the classic Duke, North Carolina matchup, the Florida Gators, the Texas. I love the classic men's game. But Bronny, I'm sorry, he hasn't lived up to the hype, whether it's due to
Bryce
playing
is better.
time, injuries. Juju, she's the biggest star on the USC campus. That's including Caleb Williams. So she's the biggest star, and she has been since the second she stepped foot on the court and they actually started to play meaningful games. Um, I think these women have been taken for granted for so long that they've evolved their game to not only just be fundamentally sound, because 10 years ago, I would say 15 years ago, WNBA was more fundamentally sound than the NBA on
I mean,
a base average level. They were way more fundamentally sound.
I feel like
But
women's
now
basketball
they're getting,
fundamentally sound, just for me personally. But keep going.
yeah, now they're getting the flashiness. Now they're getting the what the clickbait type players, but they're backing it up. The Jujus. Who doesn't love seeing Juju go off and will her team to victory, and her progression just from the start of the season till now? And then Caitlyn Clark. You're talking about the female embodiment of Steph Curry. Like, come
People
on
line
now, they're
up.
getting everything that oh no, Caitlyn, put some respect on her name, because
Ah,
I think next year, just how we saw Sabrina Ionescu in a 3-point shootout with Steph, we're gonna see Caitlin Clark and stuff next year. Book it.
We need that. Run that in. We need that. We need that. Absolutely run that in. That's something I want to. That's something I definitely want to see. But Key, I want to come at you with the same question. Do you think that the girls' talent is going to outweigh the guys' names?
No, girls gonna be the way that these freshmen come in there balling. Iowa State is nothing but freshmen. They're started. It's nothing but freshmen, and they are going to be good because I watched that game with her in Stanford. Emily, I forget her name. She had 30-something points. Audie, she had an off night, but I said I was talking to her in the beginning of the show. I said if she's 6'3", 6'4", if she's to lose a little bit of weight, she'll be dominant. Her drop step is something vicious, and she's only a freshman. So the talent is going to be there for the girls, regardless who the name is for the boys. Rodman's son. I know Matt Barnes, his sons are playing. Of course, you got LeBron with Bronny and Bryce, even though Bryce is better than Bronny. Bryce hit that growth spurt, and it was a wrap after that. So, but these girls is talented. They've been on the back burner for so long. They're like, it's our time now. They're not going to outshine the boys, regardless who the name is.
I like that. This is somebody who knows ball. By the way, we need just everybody to know that. But this is a person who knows ball right here. Okay, if y'all didn't know, Miss Key, she knows ball. Okay, she knows her ball. So don't have disrespect. Okay, Will, what you thinking?
I'm thinking the skills going to outshine the big names. You look at Clint, you look at Caitlyn Clark, you look at Angel Reese. As skillful as they are, I think they're just going to overtake because we as men, we love the superficial stuff. We love the handles. We love the dunks. We love the long range for three. But if you really are basketball purists at heart, the women's game is what you should be watching. That's what you should be watching. If you want to learn space the floor, if you want to run a pick and roll, if you want to learn that stuff, the women's game is what you should be watching. And from a skill and from a skill standpoint, hey, I got to go that way. From the athletic standpoint, I got you because we are bigger, stronger, faster at the end of the day. But in terms of skill, I got to go with the ladies.
Now you might see some girls who can dunk here and there.
You might see some every now and again,
but they're coming.
Yep.
The BG dunked a couple times. What's her name in the before she went out? I forget her name. Sylvia. She dunked at the All-Star game. We seen Ashlyn Watkins from South Carolina. She dunked in a game. So I mean, there's girls out there who can do it. It's just you're not going to see that on a daily, every possession like the men do.
Right.
That's true. I mean, honestly, I don't think that the names are going to outweigh the talent. I think the way that these girls is balling right now is something special, and it needs to be something to really be taken into notice. And the guys on the men's side, they really just haven't been living up to the hype that their name normally sort of follows. So,
but can I say this though? Mew? It's not like God bless LeBron James with amazing talent. Do you think he's gonna give that talent to all his kids?
Oh, absolutely not. His daughter gonna be the best player, all of it, to be honest with you, but that's just me.
That's just like Dwayne Wade, Zaire Wade.
Mm-hmm.
You supposed to be this big name. Where you at?
True.
So not everybody's son in the NBA is going to live up to their father's name or have that skill.
Yep.
So just because you got your dad is who you is, don't mean you're going to be who they are.
Exactly.
And now let's expand on that real quick. Do you think that these young cats have got too caught up in the name instead of the work, right? Because you see the Caitlyn Clarks, the Jujus, right? The Hannah Hidalgos, right? The Cameron Brinks of the world, right? And you didn't really hear about these girls until they got to high school, but even after high school, you hear about them in college and you just hear about how good they are, how skilled they are, how this they are, how that they are. But like with the guys, on the other hand, you really don't see or hear about their skills. It's more about their name, or what I'm saying, or how they're ranking, or stuff like that. So it's like, do you think that these? Let me see how I phrase this question. Do you think that the girls at the end of the day or do you think that the guys' names are getting too big to the point where they're like they really don't have to worry about the game as much because they know that their name is going to carry longer than potentially their skill?
I definitely agree. I mean, if you are the name you are. Let's take Bronny for instance.
Mm-hmm.
If he's a main one, because his dad, the LeBron James, 21 years in the league. LeBron James is. You say his name, he's known worldwide, nationwide, worldwide. We all know who LeBron James is, but
True.
You have to still put the work in. Just because of your name don't mean you're going to be successful like your dad or whoever parent that you are. You still have to work for it. Look at Kyron Anthony. He said he's better than his dad. Why? Because he's out there on the court working.
That's a very good point.
And to back up what Key's saying, Moo, do you remember earlier in the year, LeBron was talking so bad about D'Angelo Russell. He was sneak dishing him for his son. Do you remember that?
He was. That's true.
Boy.
Talking about his son can play on the team right now type stuff.
And look how the world turns.
Nobody's talking about Bryce right now.
Nope.
It's all Bronny. That's why I said Bryce is the better one out of the two.
Yep.
I like that. Tyrone, what you thinking? You thinking these guys are just too caught up in their names, or do you think that they actually putting in work behind the scenes?
I think it's more so they're caught up in their names, and I don't even think it's that, to be honest with you. I think it's the men's college basketball coaches are pushing back so much on these NIL deals and this one and done stuff that these players that could be impact players aren't getting the playing time that they should. Case in point, Rob Dillingham. Dillingham should have been starting day one, never coming off the court. That man is a problem. That man is Tyrese Maxey on overdrive. And you have him sitting on the bench. That's also why I think, I'm not in the same boat as y'all, where you guys keep just readily handing Bryce the title for best James Kidd because um, I'm a very, very basketball influenced individual, and I'm a savant when it comes to hearing everything, soaking in everything. And one of the
This
best
is true.
evaluators in talent is Gilbert Arenas. His son is arguably second to only Carmelo's son. So,
His
and
daughter's
he
nice.
said him, he said he said himself, Bronny just needs to find how to click on that dog at all times. He's too much like his father, where he wants to be everybody's friend. He doesn't have the baseline talent that his father does. His father can play at a baseline level and still be a Hall of Fame talent. He
Yep.
doesn't have that. He needs to play at that OD level, and he'll be right there in the conversation. I'm telling you, that boy has handles, shot. He's learning from arguably the greatest basketball mind when it comes to IQ ever. Like, and that's coming from a Kobe fan. Kobe is the hardest worker. LeBron is arguably the smartest person ever when it comes to basketball knowledge. So it I think it's they don't work as hard. They have all this, they know they can go to the NBA and make 20-30 million dollars like that. So they don't have that drive anymore.
Okay.
That instant
Yeah.
money shut it down.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, I think so. I think that is fair, definitely fair to say. But let's build on that though, because you said something that was really key. Um, do you think that competition on the men's side has kind of died down because of all the friends, right, in the league? You got all these friends that are going to schools with each other, right? All these big names that are going to school with each other, right? But when you look at the other side of it, on the women's side, you have these big names that are going to different schools, and they're making it a point to go at that other person who is top ranked, right? Like last year, you seen Angel Reese and Caitlyn Clark going at it. Even before Angel Reese got to LSU, when she was at Maryland, she's still been that type of fiery, kind of in your face type of player. Even Juju to a point where she's a freshman, but she's out there standing on her own 10, standing on a bench. She took an elbow to the face last game and started tripping after that. Like, she was just like, okay, bet that's what we playing. Oh, bet it's
Yeah.
good. I'm having 15 on your head right now.
I love that. I love that competition, man. I love it.
So like they bringing out that more, that competition, that drive. Do you think the guys are not bringing out that competition because it's more buddy buddy? And we look at the NBA, right? We look at the All-Star. We look at all of these guys that are, telling everybody, oh, don't double me. I want the one-on-one, blah, 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 because they want to get 40 and this and stuff like that. But you look at the other side of it, and the women they're accepting competition, right? They want that competition. They want all of that smoke. So do you think that there's a drop-off in the men's competition?
I
Are
do.
men not competitive no more, guys?
I do because I think the men, they look at it. There's enough of us. There's enough of us here, so we all can eat. But the ladies don't have that same mentality. The ladies say, "Look, we got to get ours. We got to get it now, because there's not a whole lot here. So we have to compete. We quote unquote, so to speak, man up against each other." Versus the dudes real up here saying, "Hey, look, we got enough here. Everybody can eat." But the women's table ain't that quite stacked. So I think that's a good point, that they're not competing because they all want to showcase each other and show what each other can do. Whereas the ladies, they trying to get theirs and get theirs now because they know their situation isn't where the man's situation is.
That's a good point. Key, what you thinking?
Yeah, I think it kind of competition kind of dropped off a little bit. Everybody want to score this amount of points or get them on this, or just a couple days ago, DiVincenzo scored 11 threes. And Monty Williams was hot about it because he said he was out there stat peddling. So, but then Tom Thibodeau, he leaves his starters in for 41 minutes, which
Tom's always been like that. And I hate
but
him
anyway,
I hate him. But you know what? I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this right now, as a Chicago Bulls fan. Tom Thibodeau is the reason Derrick Rose retired. He is the reason. If I'm lying, I'm flying. He the reason. That man does not trust has never trusted his bench on any team, be it with the Bulls or the Knicks. He's never trusted his bench at all. He plays nothing but starters. And that game, Derrick Rose initially got hurt. They were up in that game, was about to win. Why the hell is this man still in the freaking game? Get this man out of here.
I felt the same way when Doc Rivers left Joel Embiid and we up by 29 with Toronto and Siakam elbows me and breaks his orbital bone. Why is he still in the game?
Yep. Don't make no sense, man. Don't make no sense with these coaches, man. You got a bench for a freaking reason. Play it. You got depth for a freaking reason. Play it.
Tyrone, what we thinking?
I don't really. I wouldn't classify it as the competition level. I'd say it's more so the NBA and how they draft. And because now you can be a guy that only plays one, maybe 5 games in college your freshman year and still be picked top 5. So it's is that really at that point at what point do I have the self-pride and the want to go out there and prove I'm the best on my college basketball team? Just the competition within the team itself. That's how you get a Kentucky getting beat by an Oakland.
True.
It has nothing to do with Calipari. It has nothing to do with what they're running. It has to do with their passion for the game. They know, hey, okay, Calipari's not starting me. I'll sit back. I ain't gonna complain. I'm not gonna work harder. I'm just gonna take my measly few minutes. What I did in high school, the fact that I have a 49-inch vert, the fact that I can run faster than anybody else, my handle's nice, or I can shoot, I'm gonna get drafted top 10.
Yeah.
So that's really, I think that's more so a factor than the competition, because any hooper is gonna have competition in their blood. It's just the level of competitiveness they have that differs. But I don't see that being the reason. I really think it's the money. Why am I going to go out there, kill myself to compete at the college level when I'm only going to be here a year if I'm a top talent or even a mid talent? I will only be here a year and I'll still get drafted in the first round and make multi-million dollars in a year. And I could average 2 points in college or be a Kyrie. Only played 9 games and still get drafted number 1.
Number 1. Yep.
Facts.
That's true. That's a big point. I think that's a big factor because you see a lot of guys that do take that kind of role and that mentality where they're just like, I really don't have to do this. Like I can, sit back. And then even a lot of guys to where they sit back and they take the G League route and really like they forfeit college altogether and then just go to the G League, which I do think that the NBA or the WNBA needs to implement for these ladies, even if they don't. Like just like last year where you've seen a lot of top talent not get drafted or a lot of top talent get released. I would like to see the league, first of all, expand, but then at the same time, like get a development league for these ladies so they don't have to go overseas and risk all this freedom and all this other extra stuff just to play basketball. They can just do it right here at the comfort of their own home. But I want to ask this question, and then we'll kind of start it to wind it down a little bit. Do you think that the NBA, the WNBA is in for an explosion after this with this class? Do you think that there's going to be a lot more people tuning in, right? Because we see the crowd that Caitlyn Clark brings, right? We see the crowd that Juju Watkins brings in, even though she's not eligible for the draft yet. You see the crowd that Camila Cardoso is bringing in, Cameron Brink, Angel Reese, all of these seniors, girls that are
Cameron Brink, boy.
Here. Do you think that that's going to draw more eyes and give the WNBA that exposure that it needs, or that jump that it needs, or that push that it needs for that explosion, so that these ladies can start making more money and getting more exposure? Or do you think it's going to take a couple more years? Key, I'm gonna start with you on this one.
If you think the Indiana Pacers and Tyrese Halliburton is popular now, wait till Caitlyn Clark gets in Indiana. Because we all know she's going number 1 overall, and she's going to the Fever.
Yes.
She's
Yeah.
going
Yes.
to the Indiana Fever. She's
Yes.
going to play with Aaliyah Boston and
Yes.
those girls. She is going to be bigger than Tyrese Halliburton in the Pacers. You think they're going to that's going to be sold out, packed house for the Fever. Regardless how many wins they win, how many more games they win this year, they should win more games than they did last year. They did improve last year. They before the year before they only had 5 games, won 5 games. I don't know. You go 5-31. I think they won 10 last year, so that's a come up. But they'll win more than 10 games this year. So, the big names definitely will draw more exposure. Again, the WNBA I think will explode, especially when the younger girls, the freshmen, they become sophomores. By the time they're seniors, the freshmen, by the time they're seniors, the WNBA is going to be ready for them. The
That's a good
Jujus, the
point.
Hidalgos, the Fawalis, they're going to be waiting for them. And I think by that time, well, the WNBA should be a little bit more established, and they're going to be welcoming with open arms. Like, all right, we've been waiting for y'all. We've
And that's
seen
a
y'all
good
grow
point.
up.
And that's a good
We're
point.
waiting.
And
So
that's a good point. That's a good
Caitlyn
point
Clark,
because
if Angel Reese comes in again, she's going to be a big money draw wherever she goes.
Yep.
She's going to draw the people in, especially the little girls now. They look up to her just on because she's a female superstar. The little girls can look up to. Watch how many girls you're going to see in the stands now.
That's a good point.
Just watch. Now the females will support the WNBA.
There you go.
and I think
that's ultimately what we all want to see.
And I think this class gets it ready, but the class after is really gonna make it. It's really gonna make it where it needs to be.
You're really gonna pop it off. Yeah, I like that. Tyrone, what you thinking?
See, I think that there's going to be a big jump in initial ratings, but I think it's all dependent on if Angel Reese comes out, if she produces, if Caitlyn Clark produces, if these big name female players produce in the WNBA. Because you can't just be a great college player and then get to the WNBA and be a mediocre average player. Your team's not contending. If like she just said, if Caitlyn Clark goes to the Fever and all of a sudden they're a playoff team, they're a contending team, oh, that's going to draw a lot of people. And also on that point, the fact that Ice Cube, a whole different demographic, not just based on basketball, a whole different demographic that really don't watch women's basketball. They're going to start tuning in because why is he offering this chick 5 mil off the bat out of college? Why? What's so crazy about her? Is she really that nice? So they're going to get a lot more. They're going to get a small bump. But like I said, I think it's going to be the class of Juju when her class comes out.
Yep.
I think Juju's going to stay all 4 years. She's going to capitalize on that NIL. But when she comes out, like you were saying, and like I said, the WNBA is going to be cash ready. And that's where we're going to see the explosion. We're going to see the first $20-30 million contract for a rookie
Can we see
draft pick.
and see?
She's
going
gonna.
down,
I can see her getting paid.
and seeing your train of
Paid.
thought. If we look at your train of thought, we might need to start watching this WNBA draft on the real.
Yeah,
I
that
can't
part.
wait. I cannot wait. To April
You might
15th.
need to start watching that thing on the
live
real.
for that, but I cannot wait for April 15th to come just to see. I did have a train of thought and totally forgot. Oh, just the whole the thing with the WNBA. I didn't like. You do have to play all 4 years, but if you're 21 by the time the draft comes, you can come out early.
Yeah,
That's the difference between the men and the women and the men. You gotta play either all 4 years or be 21 by the time draft. The draft.
Okay.
No. Even if she's 21, she ain't leaving because we're gonna see Juju. She's gonna rival the highest paid male freshman because those are the ones that are gonna get the biggest NIL deals is the freshmen on the men's side.
Mhm.
She's gonna rival their contracts every year from here on out. Next year, she's gonna make 5-6 mil in NIL. The next year after that, she might make 10. By the time she leaves, she might be. That's why I said she's gonna be at 20 to 30 million. They WNBA has to offer, or the WNBA is gonna fold as a whole, and there's gonna be no more WNBA because your biggest draw, your biggest piece is coming. This is your time to get it ready.
Now,
Juju is the truth.
before I get into my last segment, I want to ask this question, right? And Will, I'm gonna start with you on this.
Sure.
Do you think that Ice Cube offering Caitlyn Clark to the big three, and if she accepts it, do you think that starts something amongst the big three and women? Do you think that starts that Ice Cube is in his bag right now to try to plan his own big three for just women, right? With this, or is he thinking of trying to combine the league to bring more eyes not only to women's basketball but to his own league in the big three?
He's trying to bring more eyes to the sport. Between how the WNBA treated him back in the day, and he's trying to bring more to his sport. And I think it's very smart of him to do what he's doing. He'll get more eyes, make more revenue. Also helps the girls too because they get more exposure. So whether you want to mix them in with the man or create their own league, he's doing the right thing by them. He's also going to end up doing the right thing by himself. Because again, these ladies are coming to play, and he can make some revenue. He can make some revenue, and oh my goodness, just to see how brothers took that. I haven't heard of us saying anything bad about her being offered that money from anywhere, from any board, from anywhere. So,
I love it.
And that's a good thing because not only are you crossing male-dominated lines, you're crossing racial, cultural lines as well with this. So yes, do it.
I love this. Now we're gonna get into some little fun here.
Ooh,
Starting with
ooh,
Tyrone.
can I add something on to his question? Because
Oh, go ahead.
what you had said about why Ice Cube offered a contract, and I think it's gonna be a mix and mingle of the men and women. I don't think
That's
he's
what I
gonna
think
do a
it too.
separate thing
Yeah,
because
I like it.
I like that.
this
really dope
this
concept.
will show this will show that women can actually play with men.
Yep.
So that's why I don't think he will. On one and two, I think this is Ice Cube's first move into either getting his own WNBA franchise or taking over a WNBA franchise. And what better way to get the best talent wanting to come to you than being a pioneer for their game,
Yep.
That's a good point. I like that.
a la Magic Johnson.
Yep.
Lisa Leslie's already the coach in the big three, and I believe they won the championship for her and Joe Johnson in
Yeah,
that
yeah.
group. So you already have a women coach in the big three.
There you go. And I mean, with more women presence, right? This is the reason why I asked the question. With more women presence, right? It's going to bring a lot more eyes to that game. But we already know the monetary traction that Ice Cube garners with not only his leagues, but with his movies and music and producing and everything like that. Like, so who's to say that if you bring enough women into that league while giving them the options to still compete in the WNBA, like who's to say that at the end of the day that they don't see the more promising bag or the more promising future with Ice Cube's league to the point where now he's thinking like, hey, I can just create my own league where I have either it can be a co-ed or it can just be strictly women. So that now they can actually not only play basketball, the game that they love, but I'm paying them their bag of what they're worth at the same time.
Yep.
As a shot at the NBA, because we all know how the NBA was trying to do Ice Cube earlier on in a few years ago. So that's the reason why I find that interesting, and I'm really, really intrigued to see how that's going to play out.
And also,
I said when he created the big three, this was going to be and one, but run correctly.
Yeah.
Remember how and one was? They were the pioneers. They were the ones that were given to street ball, giving us what we wanted, giving us the handles, the alley oops. Even if there was traveling the off your he's gonna run it right. Yeah.
And if he does his own league with the women, then the WNBA, they're going to have to step it up for real. For real, they're going to have to step it up because you just can't pay them chump change at that point. If you want the better talent, you want the better women, you got to up the money. You got to up the money.
WNBA might go to Cube and be like, hey, let's make this like a G League type for
Yep.
these women, for the
Yep.
ones who get cut and can't make the team. Well, you know what? Y'all can
Yeah.
play here. So
Mhm.
oh well, the WNBA. Oh well, we gonna look at this star and draft them. So
Oh yeah.
that'll
Oh
be
yeah.
dope as well.
Oh yeah. They have to up that money, man. They gonna have to.
Mhm. They have to start talking that bag, man. They have to
That's
start
my
talking
bag,
that
man.
paper. All right. Before we get out of here, I'm gonna go ahead and get into this last segment. All right. Now, Tyrone, I'm gonna ask you top 5 college women's basketball players ever. And your own personal list, your own personal opinion. Go ahead.
That's kind of tough.
Oh.
Ooh.
Ah. Mm. Cheryl Miller, number one.
Mhm.
We have to go there because she, in my opinion, is the greatest basketball player to ever step on this earth for women, ever. Like she was dogging her brother, who was last time I checked, Hall of Famer, about to be Hall of Famer.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
really out of
We
shoot.
all know Sarah
So,
Miller or just Reggie Miller ass. We all know that.
Well, I know that.
so,
Yeah.
so Cheryl, I have to put Lisa in there. She was dominant. Candace Parker.
Candace was really good.
Um, Kara Lewis.
Mm.
Ooh.
He was a dog in college, and if you don't know, you better go look it
You
up
better
because
go do some research, man.
like there's a reason why she took offense to that comment of oh I'm asking hoopers only because huh, I'm true to this, not new to this. So what's that 3? Oh,
I think you have 4.
3.
You just said
They
5th
got
one.
4.
Okay, so my 5th only because she my dog Brittany Griner. Like, she changed the women's game. Like she was out there dunking all the time, blocking everything in sight. She was Anthony Davis in college, pretty much.
And she said she can beat DeMar cousin basketball, which I love that confidence. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Dunk on him. I love this shit. I wanted to see it. I still want to see that one-on-one. If y'all can make that happen for me, I would love it. All right, Keith. Same question. Top 5 college women's basketball players in your opinion, your
Oh
personal
man.
list.
Not say this is tough, but it's a lot you can choose from.
It
Um,
is.
So many names.
I'm not. I can't go in any particular order, but I'll give you 5.
Any particular order, that's perfectly fine.
Definitely Candace Parker. Got to put Breonna Stewart in that list. 4 straight championships from Connecticut. Cheryl Swoops, gotta put her in there. Rebecca Lobo is another one, and I'm gonna throw. I don't know if I said Lisa Leslie or not, but I'm gonna stay away from Lisa Leslie since Rome said her. Let's go Dawn Staley.
Yes.
I like that.
Yes,
I like
Lord.
that. I like that. Will, go ahead and give us your 5.
Oh my goodness. Cheryl Miller, Candace Parker, Lisa Leslie, Dawn Staley, and me and Key was talking about it earlier. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I already said Cheryl Swoops.
It's just so many to
I already
choose
said
from.
Cheryl
You
Swoops.
just can't.
I know. Trust me.
It's tough. I already said Cheryl Swoops. Yeah. Candace Parker, Cheryl Swoops, Dawn Staley, Lisa Leslie. Damn it, I need one more. I can give you
Maya
4, man.
Moore
That's
is
the best I can do.
one. More of the dog.
I'll give you 4. That's the best I can
No,
do, dog.
see, Key, your list made me feel like I disrespected a lot of players because I'm like, Don. Wow, she said Don and Brianna. I'm like, no,
You're
I
understanding.
left them off my list
Yes, you
though.
gotta cut it down to 5, and that's the hardest part about it because it
Yeah,
makes people really think like, hold on, all these names, man. Like you just 5? Like that's
Tarazi,
it.
Sue
Yeah,
Bird, like you just
yeah.
Bird, come on now.
Yeah.
You could just keep listing names that were dominant.
Yeah, I guess my
Connecticut,
I
Sue
guess
Bird, like
I guess my fifth would be Rebecca Lobo. I did love her at UConn.
That's
Okay,
nice.
okay.
I like
I
that.
respect.
I like that. My list personally is Maya Moore, Candace
Ooh.
Parker, Brianna Stewart, Diana Taurasi, and Cheryl Miller.
you can't go wrong with nobody's list. Honestly, it's just
honestly, everybody's list is phenomenal. Like legends on legends on legends. Okay.
Hey,
Now,
I know why you said Diana. I know why you said
come on
Tarazi.
now. DT
Kobe,
nasty. You like
the
that?
female Kobe, the female
Come on
Kobe
now,
right
DT
there.
nasty. DT is too gross. She's disgusting with it. Her game is out of this world. All right. Tyrone only says that because he knows how big of a fan I am of Diana Taurasi. Like that's my.
That.
All right. So before we get out of here, I'm gonna go ahead and go over some matchups. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
For the first matchup on Friday, tomorrow, we got Notre Dame at Oregon State. Who you guys got? Open panel.
I'm
Y'all
a
go ahead.
Florida State fan, but I love Florida State. That's my team.
On
But-
Oregon State. Notre Dame.
Oregon State. I'm sorry. We got Oregon State. So you said Oregon State and who?
Notre Dame.
Oh, Notre Dame.
Yep.
I want to say Oregon. I want to say Oregon State, but I'm going Notre Dame as well.
I'm going Notre Dame.
Just the
I'm
men's side.
also going Notre Dame in.
It's the men's side, right?
No, this is the women's side.
No, women's side. This is women's
I'm going
side.
Notre Dame.
No,
Yeah,
but Oregon,
what I'm
hey,
saying,
hey, don't Trump change Oregon State though, because they got
I know.
that young little beast down there. So that's why I said I want to go Oregon State, but actually, you know what? I'm gonna flip that. I'm going Oregon State. I'm going Oregon State.
Okay.
I like
I'm going Oregon State.
I like that. Yeah, absolutely. Be different. We love it.
Yeah, no, y'all already. I mean, I like Notre Dame again. With Hannah Hidalgo down there, and Niall Ivy is just a hell of a women's coach too. If y'all don't know who her son is, he plays for the Detroit Pistons, and Jaden Ivy, that is her kid. So he gets all his game from his mama. So I mean, I can't bet against Notre Dame.
Kind of already know how that's gonna go. You know what I'm saying? All right, second matchup we got coming at 2 p.m. Indiana, number 4 versus number 1, South Carolina. Pretty sure we already
South Carolina.
Go with South Carolina.
Put some respect on Dawn's name. Put some respect on her name. She's gonna end up the greatest college coach too of all time too. Why?
One thing about South Carolina they got this year is 3-point shooting because we did not have that last year. 3-point shooting this year is lights out.
Yeah.
They dangerous this year.
Yep.
Pierce snipers. All right.
Look who they got coming off their bench though.
Man,
their bench is deep. They already had
they have Tuwali coming off the bench. What do you mean?
Exactly. That's crazy. All right. So next matchup we got coming at 4:30. NC State at Stanford.
That's nasty.
That is disgusting.
That's disgusting.
I'm gonna say this easily. NC State by 10.
By 10?
By 10.
I gotta go Stanford. I gotta go.
The way they were tested by Iowa State, I have no confidence in Stanford.
That's a good point.
That makes sense though.
None.
That does make sense. That's a really great
does. Now that I think about
it. Yeah, it does make sense.
But I don't know, Kiki, man. That girl is best. That girl's a dog.
I'm putting I got Stanford.
I gotta go with Stanford.
I'm still going to go with Stanford.
That's tough.
Wait, I'm gonna preface all this by saying
again.
I did say at the beginning I go with underdogs, right? So I'm just letting that be known. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that. I'm just not banking on Cameron Brink getting fouled out again. She's a really solid defensive presence, and I think if she can stay in the game the whole time and stay out of foul trouble, I think that'll help them a lot, especially with the way Kiki's been playing offensively. Oh God, this game's going to be crazy. Now, this last game, I think, has the potential to be the most interesting one out of all of them on Friday, to say the least. Gonzaga and Texas.
Oh,
Texas got their own rookie.
They
And
sure do.
got the same number as one Mr. Kevin Durant, number 35. Got to go with Booker. I'm going to go with Texas. It's still going to be that number one team. And move on to the Elite Eight. I'm going to take Texas here to beat Gonzaga.
I ain't gonna sit in front. I might have to take Gonzaga.
This is a matchup.
I'm gonna have to take Gonzaga in that one.
Oh, goodness gracious, this is a matchup. Oh, man.
Honestly,
Everybody gonna be geared up to play you because you're the number one seed.
like that's the hardest one for me because the matchup is perfect. Like what Texas does not do well, that's their go-to game. So
I'm taking Gonzaga.
yeah, I'm going Gonzaga.
I'll be the lone wolf.
I'm going Gonzaga because I'm sorry, the one thing Texas is not good at stopping, Gonzaga goes to and they go to, and like you would think they were stuck on repeat because they keep going to it. Like Texas gonna have their hands full.
I'm gonna go Gonzaga, but the main reason being is because they know how to pour it on late, right? You got the Trung twins who
You know how to close.
crazy offensive, feed off each other's energy, which is absolutely fucking scary. And then you have the other guard. Her name fucking freaking escapes me. Hold on, I'm gonna look her up right now. But she's been absolutely monstrous this whole damn season. Yvonne Ejim. She's been monstrous this whole season, and they know how to pour it on late offensively, not to mention put together key defensive stops. When I was watching them against Utah the other day, Alyssa Peely, she was trying to keep her team in the game, but just the overall pressure that I seen coming from Gonzaga, just three-pointer here, steal here, backcourt cut to the basket here, another steal here, block here, up another three, mid-range shot. I was like, oh my gosh, they're starting to pour it on. This is crazy. And it's so many people that just boom, up, shot, up, shot, up, boom, backdoor layup cut. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Capitalizing off that defense.
That's what I'm like, y'all can't possibly stop all of these people. So it's just when I look at Gonzaga, they poured on something crazy towards the end. So I definitely got to go to them, but I'm not gonna sleep on Texas. I think that matchup is probably going to be the one of the biggest matchups that we get on Friday, because that one's going to be, I think that one's going to be a really cold back and forth game. For Saturday, we got first game of the day, LSU at UCLA.
LSU has been struggling the first game against Rice, they won by 10. Is the Kim Mulkey scandal going on bringing them down? I don't think so, but I think it is a little bit. And then they fought who they played. I forget who they played the second round. They was down, but in the second half they pulled away. So with games like that, they can't start slow. If they start slow, UCLA is going to beat them.
This is true.
I'm gonna go with LSU.
I'm gonna say this easily, wholeheartedly, honestly, and it's strictly because of one player. While I'm saying this, UCLA is going to dog walk LSU because Van Lith, whatever her name is, Van Lith, she has not lived up. She has not lived up to her hype, has not lived up to the transfer status. And I'm sorry, the reason why these games are so close is teams are able to double and triple team Angel Reese, which tightens up everything for their offense. She was supposed to come in and be this perfect pairing, the guard to her post play, and she been nothing since she's got there. And UCLA is a different dog. They're not gonna stop applying that gas pedal on you. I feel like it's gonna be an easy dog walk for them. And I hate to say it because Angel Reese is a dog.
I got UCLA. I just think Angel Reese has become too much of a diva, so to speak. She was in the news the other day about breaking up with a boyfriend.
Oh my God.
Why would we care about that? So
Go out there and ball.
yeah. So I just think UCLA, and plus the way they're playing right now, if looking at them analytically, they're suffering. So I got to go with UCLA.
I'm gonna go with UCLA. What they've been getting out of their starting five, mainly their center, Miss Betts, Lauren Betts, 6'7", sophomore at that. She's balling right now. It's been absolutely outstanding, and they play more team-oriented basketball. They're getting a lot from every single person that's touching the ball, especially Kiki Rice. She's been going crazy. Like, y'all bet we got to put some respect on her name. So I think I'm gonna go with UCLA as well. So LSU, they got to be careful. Like Key said, they can't come out slow this game. They come out slow this game, it's a dog walk. It's not even gonna be it's not gonna be pretty at all. Second matchup.
No, like they won't have
the
an
reason
option.
why they came back in that second half.
That's true.
Kiki's gonna apply that pressure from jump, so LSU's gonna have to start fast. It's can LSU stay with them? I don't think LSU can. They're too slow. And like you just said, everybody gets involved for UCLA.
Yep.
LSU is a 1-2 man dominant team for their offense. If those 1-2 players ain't clicking, their offense is nowhere to be found.
That's a good point. I like that point. Second matchup, we got Iowa and Colorado.
Ooh.
Of course,
Colorado's having a good year.
Pretty solid.
I don't think Coach Prime's daughter plays for that team too, but she don't get no burn like that. But I think Caitlyn Clark in Iowa can knock off Colorado. If Colorado can knock off Iowa, this will be a big upset. But I think Iowa will win this.
That'll be probably the biggest upset of the tournament. But I got Iowa.
Caitlyn, Colorado ain't got the horsepower.
Yeah, she's been balling steadily, so I think this will be pretty convincing win. Let me see. All right, we got Baylor and USC.
Oh, wait. I'm going Colorado. Hold up.
Going
Colorado? I'm going Colorado. Wait, no. Do y'all not forget how hot Colorado started out this year? Do y'all not forget what kind of style basketball they play? How deep they are, especially their guards. They may be small, but they're feisty. And I don't think Caitlyn Clark's leading Iowa with a championship. I'll just say that.
Damn.
It's a bold take. I like that. We're going to clip up, post it to the social media on TikTok. All right. Next matchup, Baylor and USC.
I'm not betting on you. I'm not going to bet on
USC.
USC.
Wait, USC. What you mean? I've been saying this since the beginning. She's the greatest thing to happen to women's basketball, and she ain't gonna win. Oh no, yeah.
Of course. Let's see. All right, last matchup before we get out of here and get these final thoughts. We got UConn and Duke.
UConn.
Of course, UConn. Because they got my girl Paige Buckets over there.
UConn.
This one's hard
I think
for
it's
me
close, though, but I think UConn takes it.
because Duke has been scrappy and very good against very good teams this year.
I was going
So-
to pick Duke in an upset.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm kind of leaning that way with you, Key, because like I said, go back and like I said, I'm a true college women's, men's, NBA, WNBA savant. Go back and look at what they've played this year. Their losses are against teams that are less than them, not teams that are better than them. They're one of those few teams that are really good, but they play to the level of their competition.
Mm.
So their competition's gonna be really good. They gonna come out and they're gonna be barking. Like this was the hardest one for me on this day was that UConn Duke because they're very evenly matched. The only one player that's an outlier that is truly better than everybody else is that you know what who y'all was just talking about, Miss Page. Like,
Buckets.
but beyond her, and she goes quiet at times. So beyond her, they got a chance. If she goes catch a fire, no chance. But I'm going Duke. I'm going Duke.
Oh no.
So yeah,
You gotta
I'm
you
going Duke.
gotta put respect on my girl Miss Aaliyah Edwards' name too, because she been tripping this season too.
I, she has.
I'm going with Paige Buckets, Kobe Bryant inspired. You know what I'm saying? The Mamba mentality
I feel
all
it.
throughout. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, nah, I'm going with my girl. That's been my girl ever since she came out of high school, dog. What I'm the biggest Paige Beckers fan of all time. I do not care.
And she got stroke. She wet from everywhere.
Baller. She is a baller. All right, now before we get on out of here, I'm gonna go ahead and get final thoughts, starting with Tyrone. Can we get your final thoughts, man?
Final thoughts. College basketball on the men's side need to step their game up. Need to figure something out to make these boys want to be more competitive because the women's college basketball right now is going through that hype, that jump that men's college basketball did in the mid to late 90s, where they just blew up because of marketing, the level of competition, the players that are coming through, and they're staying with these programs. You're not just getting these one and dones, you're getting to know these players because college basketball is bigger than professional basketball. You get these people when you're in college to follow you to the NBA. That's how marketing works. Get them to follow you. And on the women's side, look out. I'm ready. I'm waiting. Kobe spoke it into existence. God rest his soul. Women's college basketball, women's WNBA, basketball period for women is exploding. He spoke it into existence.
I love it. Key, final thoughts?
Um, Not even going to hold y'all. Like I said, I haven't really watched too many men's games this year.
Oh,
In
you
the
ain't making
tournament so far, I watched a couple.
you ain't making
So it's just like it's been the women's. I've been ever since last year's tournament. I was excited this year because I knew it was going to be special. The regular season with the women's, I already knew it was going to be special. This tournament was going to be crazy. So, women's basketball, y'all. I'm just saying, just watch out. Just watch out for it, and just watch out for it. It's going to be big. It's going to be big.
Will, final thoughts?
Women's basketball is on the come up. Gentlemen, I need you to get ready to step it up as well. You guys can do it. We gotta put some more focus into it. Stop using all these AAA connections that you've made and really go out there and start competing against one another because you ain't doing nothing but hurting your game. Ain't doing nothing hurting your game, and it hurts you to a point to where it can matter in the pros. So get your game up. Let's start competing.
We're gonna have to do a
Message.
show. Yeah, you ruining these young men's in basketball. But my final thoughts. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow. Inside the Huddle, 3 p.m. Western time, wherever that is for you guys on the Eastern side, on the Central side. Make sure you guys tune in wherever 3 p.m. happens. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be 5 or 6 wherever y'all is. Make sure y'all tune in. We're gonna be back on here on another basketball show, Basket to Basket on Monday. Tuesday we off because we know we got lives and kids too. Wednesday we'll be back with another gentleman's talk. We got part 2 of the round of 32. Greatest villains. We'll be back here for Thursday and another episode of PvT. And then Friday, We're back for another football show. So make sure y'all tune in. Appreciate everybody for sliding through. The Facebook was kind of tweaking today, so we kind of let that go. We just rocked it on YouTube. So if you missed the show on Facebook, make sure you come back to YouTube, watch the full show. We're gonna have the audio and visuals uploaded on Spotify and Apple Music later. So appreciate you guys for sliding through. Everybody, have a great night.